Hello and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program Race for Eeloo. So, in the last episode, we both successfully and unsuccessfully sent a Kerbal to land on Ike, the moon of Duna. Unfortunately, we did lose one, but in the next mission we were successful. However, we still have to go retrieve her. But before we do that, you might be wondering what this massive construct is here on the platform. Well, let me tell you, good friend. This is going to be the fuel storage attachment to our space station, and I'm sending it up in one piece. It's a little bit ambitious, I must say. Like, I'm skeptical that everything will go perfectly, but the reason it's done the way that it is because, well, you see these liquid fuel fuselages here that would normally go on aircraft. Yes, well, with that last mission where we sent back all that data, we were able to unlock the nuclear rockets. We're going nuclear. And those run on liquid fuel strictly, so it's more beneficial for us to have a bunch of these up there than it is to have just, say, another four solid, or not solid fuel, four of these orange tanks. I could just send four of those up and be done with it, but the oxidizer wouldn't serve as great of a purpose, because if the nuclear engines don't run on liquid or on oxidizer, what's the point in having it? We're going to be using the oxidizer, we're going to be using the liquid fuel in the NERVA rockets, the nuclear rockets, for pretty much all interplanetary activities, because it's almost a necessity, just because of how much efficiency they have. Like, they're so good in interplanetary space. They don't have a lot of thrust, comparatively, but they have an immense amount of efficiency. So, for example, the mainsails that are here on this giant rocket have a specific impulse, or efficiency, of 295S. I'm not sure what the S stands for, but they have that's their specific impulse, and that's a measure of essentially how efficiently they use their fuel. By comparison, in a vacuum, the NERV rockets, oh boy, that's an interesting image. The NERVA rockets have a specific impulse in a vacuum of 800, so quite a bit more than the mainsails, and they don't run through their fuel very quickly at all. So it's far more efficient to use those than it is to use anything else, really. Like, thus far you've seen me use the Kerbal engine with one of the smaller Rockamax 2.5 meter tanks or something like that, because when you have something really small on top of that, even the small engine of the Poodle is more than enough to really push that thing, to really get that thing going. But ultimately, the nuclear rockets have so much better efficiency that you wouldn't want to use anything else, really. But yeah, as this thing lags to all hell because of how much fuel is being burned and how many particles it's having to keep track of, I'm going to go ahead and skip to orbit, because this is going to take a while and you don't want to have to sit through that. So, I will see you in a little bit. like how I said a couple minutes ago that it was only going to take a minute, but that, like, it is a painstaking process to turn this thing. Now that my main boosters, those things back there, are exhausted, now it's a painstaking process to change this thing's direction, because I have to use the RCS. Now, don't get me wrong, got a lot of RCS. Still gonna take a while. Oh god, why? Like, even through this entire process up to this point, I've only used a fifth of my RCS fuel. And I'm only 2 kilometers away now, so I should have more than enough to get there. It's just gonna be a while. And we are finally closing in on the Nexus. You can finally see it there, now silhouetted against the sky, except it's not silhouetted, it's in full color and everything. But we're finally there. According to the game, it's been 1 day, 1 hour, 3 minutes, and 15 seconds. But we've made it, by golly. And now all we have to do is figure out how exactly we're going to dock this thing. And we are now in post-production. So this is just because I was rambling on about nothing for entirely too long, and this entire process of docking just took absolutely forever, because this thing is impossible to move even with all the docking ports that it has on it. It might look like it's moving quickly now. It's actually moving 4 times as fast as it was when I was actually doing it. But yeah, I was very happy that I decided to do this the way that I did it. I'm very thankful that it didn't blow up into a billion pieces in trying to get it into space. But yeah, it actually managed to hold together fairly well, and I think the gamble definitely paid off. This is going to be oh so crucial for us in future missions when we're trying to send something up into space without having to carry all of the fuel that we're going to need with us. We can stop and grab some more while we're up here, so that we can have a smaller spaceship running on, you know, bigger engines and having to push around less fuel. But anyway, you're just going to see me tweaking and adjusting this so that we can finally get attached. Again, this took a long time just because of how badly it was lagging with how many pieces were moving around. But I finally got it at some point, thankfully. But I'm gonna throw it over to past me to finish up this long, drawn-out procedure. Come on, come on. Yes! Look at that. That thing, the space station, the Nexus just doubled in size. Maybe even tripled. But that thing looks so much cooler now. Turn off the RCS so that the whole thing doesn't shake and wobble to compensate for itself. Wow, that looks pretty nice. Okay, so now that we've gotten that all done, let's move on and do something else. Okay, so I want to start a kind of a new project, not really a new project. This is something that a lot of other people have done, but I've never really seemed to be able to do, which kind of bothers me, but it's okay. I want to make a plane that will take off from the runway, can put itself into space, into orbit, and then come back without the use of another launch vehicle. And the ultimate objective of this is I want to land a plane on Duna without any help from other vehicles. So essentially I want whatever I happen to design to take off from here, possibly refuel at the Nexus, but after that, you know, carry itself on until it makes it to Duna. There seems to be a bit of a bug here with the struts, but I guess it's okay. At least for takeoff, I'm going to turn on the afterburner on this jet, get itself going up to speed. Where's this fuel coming from? Oh, okay, I see. This Panther engine does not have a lot of kick to it, does it? Huh. Oh, it's because I didn't have it on all the way. That's better. Come on. Take off. Take off. You can do it. Okay. That was a bit of a blunder, but I think we're okay. Let's try that again. Okay, take 2, and I'm going to use full throttle on this thing this time, right from the start, plus the afterburner. Because this thing needs to be able to get into the air, or else we're not going very far. Okay, I'm hitting 40 meters per second. That's good. That's a good start. Up to 70. This is a pretty serious increase from where we were when we were last at this spot on the runway. We're almost at 100 meters per second, and it's pretty safe to use the K2 Diomedes as the marker for where the end of the runway is, because it's basically just off the end. But we've still got another half a kilometer to go. Take off, come on. No, it's still too heavy. Still too heavy. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna make some adjustments, and then we'll be back. Okay, so we have another Kerbal into the cockpit. What I've done is I've changed the orientation of the engines, so now the Nerva rocket is the only one of its kind on the plane, but I have 2 Panthers now. So hopefully because taking off is the harder bit, really. Like, as long as you have the fuel, the Nerva rocket will burn forever. And you'll get there eventually, and I can transfer fuel out of these tanks into these if I need more fuel for the atomic rocket. Anyway, we're gonna try this instead, because this looks, 1, it looks better, 2, it'll have a little more thrust starting off. So I'm gonna start those up, and going to turn on their afterburners, full throttle, and hopefully we'll be able to get off the ground this time. I'm thinking that one of our major issues, honestly, is these these control surfaces here, the elevons, because they're so weak early on, they can't really get us off the ground all that well. They can change our orientation, but they have a hard time generating enough lift to get off the ground, which is what is causing us problems, I'm thinking. But we are going much faster now than we were before. So hopefully we'll be able to take off soon. We don't have very much runway left. Oh, there goes the end of the runway. Okay. Come on, climb, climb, climb. Put away the gear, reduce the drag. Come on, climb. Watching the altimeter. I'm stuck at 35. Oh, there we go. Come on, come on, come on. Going up. It's gonna take us forever to get into orbit, but we're going up. Specific impulse on these things is ridiculous, even when they are burning wet or whatever that means, like with fuel, I guess. I'm not sure, but when the afterburners are on, they still have a ridiculous specific impulse. They just use a little more fuel. Like if I turn this off, their fuel usage decreases by about 75%. Well, at this rate, if this makes it into orbit, I'll be surprised, but I really, really want it to. But if it does, I will be sure to let you guys know. But I think we should probably call the video there, and we will pick up with this in the next episode. Thanks, guys. See you soon. Alright, everybody. Thank you for joining me today. Now, before I get absolutely murdered in the comments about how bad I am at making space planes in this game, yes, I know. I made these recordings a couple weeks ago. I've had a lot of practice with building them since then. I know why these failed now. I don't need all the criticism and all the just absolute shame that I'm sure will come to me in the comments anyway. I know why these didn't work. They'll be better next time. Hello, Snowshoe. Thank you all for tuning in with me today. Make sure to stay tuned this Friday for the start of a new Civilization 5 series, assuming I can get enough people together. If not, I'm probably going to do just some kind of intervening game. Like, just off the top of my head, I could do Papers, Please, or I could do I don't know. I'll think about it. But if I don't get enough people, you'll know. I'm still coming off of my cough. But anyway, thank you all again for tuning in. I think that's going to do it. Thanks, guys.